Since we talked about 45, 45, 90 special right triangle in the last lesson, we're going to look at the next special right triangle, which is 30, 60, 90 special right triangle. And I promise this is the last one. So, what we have here is that the 30, 60, 90 special right triangle basically says that the side lengths have a relationship that with each other, and it's a consistent relationship basically there. So we have the side that's opposite of 30 is just going to be considered to be x. That's the smallest side length. So this is going to be x. And then the side opposite of the 60 is going to be x times the square root of 3. And then the side opposite of the right angle is going to be 2x. So that's probably the easiest one to remember is, or yeah, I guess it's the easiest one is that x times 2x, or the easiest one that you want to look for, I guess, because no one wants to deal with square roots. But sometimes you have to use those. So that remember, so across from the 30 is going to be the shortest side. That's going to be x, and then across from the largest angle, which is 9, is going to be twice that, and then across from the 60 is x times the square root of 3. So let's take a look what this looks like in problems. All right, so here we have, we're going to find the value of D and E. So we can find two values here. So what we'll notice is that the side that we're given is across from the 30-degree angle. This is going to be considered to be X. What's really nice is that's going to be E is going to be 2 times X. Well, X here is 2. So 2 times 2. So E is going to be 4. Pretty nice, right? And then D is going to be X, which is 2. So D is going to be, this is X times the square root of 3. Well, we know that X, because that's the shortest side, is going to be 2 times the square root of 3. And then that's it. Pretty straightforward, right? So not too terribly bad there. So we have E is 4 and D was 2 times the square root of 3. So starting out a little bit easier there. All right, so here we have we're going to find F and G. And so remember that the value that's across from the 30-degree angle is going to be X. That's like kind of our base, I guess you could say. And so I'm not given that one. So I'm going to have to find that. I know that the angle, or I know that the side that's opposite of the 60 is X times the square root of 3 is going to be equal to this side length here, which is 4. So I'm going to say x times the square root of 3 is going to be equal to 4. And then just like anytime else we have something multiplied by our variable, we're going to divide by the square root of 3. And just like always, we cannot leave a radical in the denominator. Never can you do that. So I'm going to multiply by the square root of 3 over the square root of 3 to get rid of that. So x is equal to 4 times the square root of 3 over 3. And then, so that is going to be this side length. So that's f really. Okay. And then I need to find G. Well, G is 2 times what F is, basically. So G is equal to 2 times F. Well, I know that F is 4 times the square root of 3 over 3. So G is going to be 2 times 4 square root of 3 over 3. Now, if you'll remember back when you learned to multiply fractions, you just do top times top and bottom times bottom. When we're talking about radicals and we have a coefficient like 4, we have a 2 that's a coefficient, doesn't it's not underneath the radical sign. We just multiply those two coefficients. So 2 times 4, which is going to give me 8 times the square root of 3, and then I have 1 times 3 on the denominator, so 3 here. So G is 8 square root of 3 over 3. So not as nice because I had to deal with radical signs and do some stuff with that, but it's really really not as long as you know that relationship, that consistent relationship. All right, and so now on this one we are given the hypotenuse. Okay, so this one's not gonna be bad either. Only if you're given the side across from the 60 and it's not any kind of radical, nice, pretty number. So I am given this. So remember that this is going to be 2. I'm not going to use x here because that would indicate this value here. So that's really going to be 2 times this side length, which is y. So if I have 2y is equal to 6 or 2 times y, I'm going to divide by 2, and so y is equal to 3. So this side length across from 90, remember that's going to be kind of my base part. Um, so that's going to be 3. And then I know that across from the 60 is going to be that base number, which is 3 times the square root of 3. So across from 60 is going to be 3 times the square root of 3. Where did I get this 3 from? I got it from right here. And the square root of 3 is just that consistent relationship that we talked about. So there's x and there's y. Again, not too bad. Now, what you'll notice here is we're going to try to find U and V. So, something that you need to note is that we have two triangles here, basically. We have, and I'm going to use this triangle. So, this is the 60-degree angle right here. So, this is an equilateral triangle that's cut down the middle, okay? And it's going to split this 12 in half. So, this side is going to be 6, and this side is going to be 6. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to redraw this like so that way I can look at it a little bit better. I know that this is 6 because it's half of 12. I know that this is U and I know that this is a V because it's across from the right angle. That's my hypotenuse. Sometimes that's hard to see. So remember that. So and then my 60-degree angle is across from U. That's this right here. So remember that's going to be that base, whatever that short side across from the 30-degree angle is, which is going to be 6. So this is going to be 6 times the square root of 3. Push it forward. And then V is going to be 6 times 2, which is 12. Now, knowing that this is an equilateral triangle, I knew that this side length has to be equal to this side length. So V equal to 12 makes sense. Okay, makes sense. That would be correct there. And I knew it was an equilateral triangle because of the 60-degree angle measured here and here. So that's another I guess hint on that as well. So U is 6 times the square root of 3 and V is equal to 12. So just some basic like knowledge and having some just background in triangles and knowing that vocab and what that can mean, I kind of got this figured out and had a little extra check in that problem solving there. So this consistent relationship is like I said, it's a little bit more challenging than the other one because you have 3 sides that you need to keep up with. But remember, the shortest side, which is across from the 30-degree angle, is always going to be that base. That's going to be x. And then the other side, the other leg length is x times the square root of 3. And then the hypotenuse is 2 times x, or that base. It's going to be twice of that. So now it is your turn to practice these skills and use these notes to kind of refer back to as you need, but practice with your skill check now.